Hey guys, welcome to another Talking Mods with Ron. Today we're talking about a topic that blew up in our own offices, and it's going to be the top 5 wheel brands. Let's roll that intro. All right, guys. So we have had a lot of discussions in our own offices, talked to some of the guys, and our own personal experiences. You know, this might ruffle some feathers.
Ruffle feathers. You said rustle feathers.
Ruffle, whatever, I don't care.
I'll give you guys the criteria, all right? And it's pretty important. Brand recognition is a big one. So it's just like, brands like you recognize, like Rolex or Patek or Chanel or Prada. These are brands that we might recognize. Resellability. I think that's a very important factor because in wheels in particular, we might take them off and resell them. So that makes a big difference on some of these brands. The units sold, which means that this eliminates a lot of the micro brands. I think that's important because, you know, when they're a bigger size company, how they do support for that, for those wheels, how many units are out there, and still the lasting power of that brand. That makes a very big difference, right? So they're not just up and comers and stuff like that. There are some amazing wheel companies who are doing some very innovative stuff or very one-offs, but unfortunately they don't fall into this category. And staying power, which again kind of relates to that, same thing, is one of the things I look at. Staying power meaning that they're going to be around. They've been around for a while as a company. The quality, obviously you have to have quality to have had the staying power and so forth in this industry. The other thing is I did not put a particular order on this. I think putting an order is very, very difficult. Okay, so there's no particular order here. Okay, it's all over the place. The first one is going to be BBS Wheels. I think there's no more, one of the most recognizable companies out there is BBS, especially in motorsports. In terms of their aftermarket, it's going to be their LM wheel. And BBS has a lot of really classic looking wheels that have done really well. Like the LM since the 80s has existed and still looks amazing to this day. And if you buy that wheel, you can always resell it what you paid for, just about. And if you got a limited edition color, even more so. And BBS is a huge, huge company. It's a supplier for a lot of your vehicles, the OEMs and so forth. And then in their aftermarket scene, they use their best of their technologies. So BBS is one of the ones that was first that came to my mind. Again, some of their most iconic wheels are going to be the LMs that I already mentioned. The FIRs have done amazing in the last couple of years. Very sought out, always sold out, just like the LMs are almost always sold out. Their CHRs do well. So BBS, another top one. In the aftermarket world, I think the top one was Method Wheels. Very, very iconic. I don't think you can ever find the MR301 in stock. It's always sold out. It is a very, very nice wheel. High quality, especially in off-roading. They do some great innovation and technology, but a company that's here to stay. Good stuff. You're not going to have a problem with going with a Method wheel for your off-road vehicle. Another one. This one is probably the first one a lot of people think of, especially if you come from the Japanese market. It's going to be Volk. And Volk, I'm putting in Rays into that because it's like a sub underneath brand. But the Volk, obviously the first wheel that comes to our mind is the T37. I think everybody knows that you buy that wheel, you can not lose a single dollar when you sell it. You might even make a profit. So, especially, again, when you go into limited edition ones. But the T37, super popular, amazing quality, phenomenal wheel. Always in demand. If you're going to get one, you need to be prepared to wait. You know, it's going to probably be about 6 months to a year.
One eternity later.
If not more. I'm not sure really because, again, it comes down to their production. But the Rays, I even had the Graham lights on my own vehicle, on my S2000 back in the day.
What the hell is that?
Next big one is going to be Forgestar. And Forgestar, based on the demand and what I've seen and how across the board for all vehicles, they've done an amazing job. They're kind of one of those, they disrupted the market. They came in with the flow form and custom. Their most iconic wheel is the F14. Very classic design. You can do any color you want with it, and you can't beat that value. And the market just keeps going to it. I mean, everybody wants it on their cars. I've had it on my 911 Turbo. It's amazing. And they did something that others wouldn't do. They did the Super Deep. Their Super Deep versions, they have got concavity in those wheels that are just incredible. So Forgestar ticks all the boxes. They're not as expensive as some of the other ones I mentioned. In terms of brand recognition, it's out there. I know that I start seeing it. People are asking for it.
Stop asking so many questions.
They've been on the rise year over year, and they're always trying to push the envelope. So Forgestar has been a company that's been there for a while and has long staying power. So I like them, and I think they've done a great job. And number 5 I'm going to pick here is going to be HRE. HRE Wheels, many years out there.
We're sending you back to the future.
They've got iconic wheels like the P40, the 540R. You know, in the forged wheels, they were always there. Actually, back in 2000s, it was always HRE and iForge. They were like the Coke and Pepsi of the forged wheels. They were always a company that did more of the engineering. Very recognizable. I almost feel like they're the kind of like a Rolex. When you see that brand, that recognition, you almost always recognize HRE. They've done a really good job with their wheels, quality and finish. So that's my top 5. I know there's some other brands. They were shy, just missing out. What are your top 5? Write them in there and give us your why too. And maybe we can go more in depth on some of these companies if you guys would like to see it on other episodes. Guys, as always, if you guys can subscribe, we appreciate it. Hit a thumbs up if you like this video. And I'll see you guys on the next Talking Mods. Thanks again, guys.